you've given everybody a lot to think about and a lot of good information. And I think that I need to go make my list of questions and opportunities.
Well, you know, Bibi, and I know I know you very well. Matter of fact, I think I saw on social media, and I apologize, I haven't said anything yet. We have been friends for 1 year, and I met you through eWomen, as well as Beautiful Faces Going Places with Carol Dockham, and love to have you. I love having you as my sister, number one in Christ, as well as in the networking group here. But you know, a lot of times when we are talking, you know, we are so caught up in selling something that what we have to do is we got to take these people through a process. And a new word that I use a lot now is really as an experience. See, you have to get people to think, decide, respond. And you can't wait to the end to ask them to purchase or do something with you, and they never had the opportunity to think, decide, or respond about you, your services, or needing your services. Excuse me. So it's very important that you have a conversation. So, you know, and I'd love to have a one-on-one call with you, Bibi, about that. Maybe you have 5. I said make a list of 10 because not every sales conversation is the same. It's not a cookie cutter conversation each people have when they're doing a sales presentation. You're dealing with different people, so it has to be customized. But you have to be proactive and know exactly what your objections are when people want to, when you're working on offering a service or a need. Number one, you got to know that need of that customer right away. You have to know a little bit about these people, and you need to know, and hopefully you've built some rapport with them. You know if they're married, if they have a spouse. And if they're married and they have a spouse, I promise you, even though they're a business entrepreneur, a lot of times they're probably going to have to talk to their spouse if they can spend money. And, you know, or you've got to think about them spending that money. The other thing, and as I love money objections because I know the only thing I can control at the end is money. So if you have a product or service and, you know, let's just say a product or service that's $3,000 for 6 months or for a year, break that down to what it costs monthly, what it costs weekly, and what it costs daily, and find something. So if it's a cappuccino a day from Starbucks, or if it's whatever, you know, you break it down. Would that take food off your table or change your lifestyle in any way, Bibi? And they say no. So see, now they're thinking about spending money. And so, and you can relate that to some of the other things that you do. I mean, everything is different, whether it's consulting or what you do, Bibi, with the website designs and things of that nature, SEO. You know, think about what they spend. Can you afford not to have somebody, you know, can you afford not to have your SEO come up to the top and just be sitting there and nobody sees it or whatever? Do you see what I'm saying? Based on a package, and break it down. Because you've got to get people thinking about spending money before you ask them to spend money. Did that help you a little bit, Bibi?
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I look forward to our conversation, and thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you.
And does anybody else have some questions? Yes, ma'am.
Michelle put in the chat, she said some common objections that she hears is, how long does it take? Does this really work? How much does it cost? And do you use this yourself?
Okay, so what does Michelle do? Can we unmute Michelle for a minute? Can she unmute?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, hey Michelle, thank you. It's nice to meet you. What in like 30 seconds, what industry are you in, Michelle?
I'm in the makeup and image industry. So I do makeup application, makeup lessons. I do image consulting, color analysis. I also do teeth whitening and body treatment.
All righty. So some of the common objections you say is, how long does it take? So in other words, again, if you get that, if you're, you know, and I know from knowing Deborah for a while, so how long does it take, I guess, depends on what service or product that you're selling at that time, correct?
Exactly.
So you need to know that if you are having that conversation with somebody, you know, when you say how long does it take, are you talking about a class or Are you talking about a program? So, you know, it's different. You need to bring that, you know, you need to bring that out with them. That I'm sure, you know, Michelle, one of the things that you're probably interested in knowing is how long does it take to go, if it's, you know, how long this class is. I don't know what you mean by how long does it take.
Well, usually specifically it can be how long does it take for you to do a full face of makeup
Okay,
for an event or a photo shoot. How long
Okay.
does it take for your teeth whitening services?
Okay, let's
So-
stick to one. So for your makeup thing, how long does it take, Michelle?
Well, if you want a full face with lashes, that can take 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
If you want a basic face, that can take only 30 minutes. So it
Okay,
depends on how glam you like to be.
So again, so in your conversation, and this is, you know, maybe in the chit chat or in the rapport building. So some of the services, Michelle, that I do is I do some basic makeup, or, you know, whatever it is that you just said. So you're talking about this in the conversation, and usually a basic one is 15. It will take like 15 minutes, and, you know, one with false eyelashes, whatever, is going to be, you know, 30, 45 minutes. So again, that needs to be part of your conversation when you're with your sales conversation, so they already know how long that's going to take. So, and again, so when you do that, so there, remember I said you want to have one call to action, maybe two. So if you're not sure of that person that you're talking to, so maybe you're thinking about two types of things to offer. Maybe it's the makeup thing, and maybe it's this. So when you talk about the time, and you say that, and say, you know, usually, Michelle, the 15-minute thing is the basic thing is usually 15 minutes, and that's about X amount of dollars. And the other one that's 45 minutes is about this. So you see how you brought both of those things out in your sales conversation before you even asked them to purchase from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and so when it's, do you use it yourself? And so again, that's something you should always, you know, because I'm sure that you do. I wouldn't think that you would be promoting or doing anything that you don't use yourself or you don't do. Correct?
Correct.
So, you know, and say, you know, and the reason I love this and I love that is because I use it myself. So this is, you know, it's important that you have to craft the conversation, and it doesn't need to be written, because no conversation is going to be the same. So, but you have to practice and role play. And I think we have Joan on the call here today. You know, I know one thing that I have thoroughly enjoyed with Joan over the last 30 days is the role playing of the conversations that she's having with building a sales team, that we are role playing these conversations, that I would go here or I would go there, and these are the basic things. And so that's huge to role play.
Yeah, and also to ask questions on their expectations so you know what service to direct them to.
Well, absolutely, because here's the thing. Again, you have to take them through that sales process that they are, and if you don't write anything down, write this down. Think, decide, respond. That presentation, that sales presentation has to take them through an experience that they're constantly thinking about you and your product, so they can decide, and then they can respond yes or no. And remember, the word no, if they're telling you no, that means K-N-O-W. They need to know more information to make a decision on what you are proposing to them. And a lot of times we don't ask enough questions for them to make a decision. That's why you have to get really good at your sales presentation, that you're asking questions and knowing your product or service.